Hey, do you remember when Israel bombed another hospital, probably the last hospital in Gaza? They were bombing it, and they said it was a whoopsie. They didn't really. Oh my God, that was. Oh, we didn't. Sorry, remember Benjamin Netanyahu tweeted out, "We that was
A
we didn't really
mishap.
do that. That was a mishap." He called it. It's called it a mishap. Well, it turns out on Israeli television in Hebrew, they tell you the truth about what actually happened. And on the TV in Hebrew in Israel, they'll tell you, according to Megatron, Israel media and soldiers say it was approved by top brass to target the journalists and the medical workers today at the hospital. That's on Channel 14 in Israel. The strike was coordinated with senior command, and they knew before it was carried out. So, of course, we all knew they were lying. They've been targeting journalists and they've been targeting medical staff since October 8th. Okay, so Israel is they're unbelievable war criminals. This is what they do. They're an evil regime committing evil for their own personal gain. But they won't tell you that in English. Benjamin Netanyahu comes out and go, "Oh, I'm sorry, there was a mishap. We're not at war with journalists. We take every measure we can to protect journalists. We take every measure we can to protect medical staff." No, they don't. And now we're going to find out they targeted him. So let's do the same thing here. Mute your computer stuff and play the video, and you can read it. Okay.
All right, you got it. Here we go. Okay. This is an incident that has been making a lot of noise since this morning. But as of this evening, from the details we have gathered so far, it is explicitly clear our fighters acted as required. We are now publishing this after a conversation with the forces involved in the mentioned. They are claiming unequivocally the attack was authorized and coordinated with senior command, and they were aware of it before it was carried out. Additionally, in recent days, in the Golani storm, on one of the upper floors of the Nasser terror headquarters, an advanced camera has been installed that is observing them and apparently gathering intelligence in preparation for a terror operation that could endanger their lives. Furthermore, intelligence personnel understand that those operating it are terror operatives and therefore decide to carry out an attack to eliminate the threat. Additionally, the fighters we spoke with confirmed that armed individuals were definitively identified in the area that was attacked. And the attack was carried out by the IDF, according to the procedures defined for us, using a single tank shell. So despite the hasty announcement issued by the IDF spokesperson about a quick investigation and regret over the alleged harm to innocent civilians, once again, the truth is revealed to be the opposite, much to our relief. And beyond the central part of the strip, activity continues in the north, mainly in Sabra and Zatoun neighborhoods, and well as in Jabalah. The goal is to encircle the city of Gaza and begin operations there soon. But a big question mark hovers over the area. Why so far the evacuation of the population from the city, which was supposed to begin yesterday, has not started yet, and whether all the actions and statements are once again only meant to scare Hamas and convince them to agree to another partial deal. And this is how the IDF addressed the incident a short time ago. We remind you of the importance. Working as individuals, and we are beginning to decide on the research of Hamas, starting to decide on the research of Hamas and beginning. That's what we end there.
Yeah. Okay. So that's them admitting they targeted. They know they targeted. I showed you in the last segment, they on purpose targeted. So it's funny how they'll say one thing in English when they're speaking to the people they need billions of dollars from to keep this war going. And it's funny what they actually say in Hebrew on their own television shows. So yeah, and they pretend that they were targeting terrorists at a hospital. You know, a grenade could fall out of their pocket and land on their foot, and they would call the hole in the ground where their leg used to be terrorist headquarters. That's it's so there it is. Let's go to the next slide. Everybody knew, yet they played blind. The soldier pulled the trigger, the generals signed the paper, and the media painted the blood as fog of war. No accident, no mishap. This was a cold, scripted execution dressed in military jargon. Channel 14 confesses what the world already whispers. The order came from the throne itself, not from the chaos of battle. And the so-called media, those parents of empire, still try to baptize the massacre with the perfume of justification. But no sermon is needed for the awake. The wise of the world see the puppets dance and hear the master's whispers. Propaganda is a mask. Truth is the wound. And today, Gaza bleeds the evidence. First of all, wow, fearless. It should be a poet.
No kidding.
That's some pretty great writing right there. Anyway, so basically, when you listen to Benjamin Netanyahu say, "Oh, it was a mishap," they're basically like evil Catskill comics, and all the punchlines are in Yiddish. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. I'm not a Jew. I don't know the difference between Malcolm. What's the difference between Yiddish and Hebrew?
Hebrew is an ancient language that dates back to ancient times that I think was revived along with the Israeli state. Yiddish is a language spoken mostly among Eastern European and German Jews that is similar to German, but it has nothing to do with Hebrew. It's a European or of European origin.
And when did Yiddish get invented? Do you know?
I don't know the details, but I think it arose probably in the after the medieval period, into modern era.
10th century. Yiddish was in the 10th century.
10th century. Okay. Well, Hebrew predates that by many centuries.
1500 BC is Hebrew.
Right.
So, okay.
Good thing you asked me. Then
why did they do that? Do you know why? Do you know why they did that? Why did they invent a new Jewish language?
Well, you're just going to go ask Siri after you ask me to see if I'm right. I'm totally speculating, but you have a language that Jews can speak among them that other people can't understand, but throughout a significant amount of Europe, so it becomes their shibboleth, as it were, which is indistinguishable, or is distinguishable from German or whatever the local language is, and so Jews can understand each other, but the other people can't necessarily. Of course, now we all speak Yiddish. We're all schlepping and and calling people schmucks and
putz, isn't putz?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, if you'd like to hear some comedic language, you can see me this weekend in Edmonton, Vancouver, and Calgary. And then I'll be in Chicago, Rosemont, Illinois, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Louisville, Appleton, Wisconsin, Hermosa Beach, Sacramento, and San Francisco. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. Come see me on tour in Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, Appleton, Wisconsin, Rosemont, Illinois, Chicago, Louisville, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Hermosa Beach, Sacramento, San Francisco. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.